Hi, I'm Bybreen and welcome back to another episode of Soul-Stirring Astrology, where I'm sharing my Sun Sign series, and today it's the Sun in Virgo. A key phrase associated with Virgo is I analyse. So there's a very mercurial dimension to your personality. Other key words are discrimination, methodical and service. There's a core part of your identity that's in search of meaningful service. You want to place yourself in a position where you're giving to others. You're nurturing them, you're feeding them, you're uplifting them in some way. Now, if we think about the symbol of Virgo, it's the Virgin, and she's carrying a sheath of grain in her hand. Now, what this represents, it's the wisdom, the hard-fought wisdom that you've gained through harvesting life, going through life, meeting life head-on, and then gaining the wisdom as a result of those experiences. Now, some of those experiences may have been really difficult, so they've been hard, won pieces of knowledge, pieces of wisdom that you're trying to apply to your life. However, you tend to get in your own way, and the reason for this is, on the one hand, you want to be this perfectionist. You hold that very dear to your heart, that you're seen as somebody who does things perfectly. However, that places pressure on your nervous system, which makes you stressed out. And the reason for this is because Hermes or Mercury and Virgo are associated with the nervous system. And so the way that you try to manage it is if you just focus your attention on one thing in particular. But by doing so, you're sending the rest of your life out of kilter. And so a key lesson for you here is to try and learn that the body serves the mind and the mind serves the spirit. And the spirit needs to come about, it needs to come alive. You need to evoke your spirit in your day-to-day handlings. So turning to Hermes or Mercury, he was a deity and he was able to go between the different worlds. And so when he plunged into the underworld, it's the place where you face your darkness, as the psychologist Carl Jung said. It's the land where you can roam around in your dreams, and by roaming around in your dreams, you meet the shadow side of who you are. However, as a Virgoan or as a Geminian, because you're both ruled by Hermes or Mercury, there's a fear and a reticence about going into that dark place for fear of what it could reveal. But this is where you can use Hermes, because Hermes is about shining the bright light, showing up your intelligence, and so therefore it's trying to illuminate your path to your soul so that it doesn't appear to be so fearful, but you've got to allow yourself to go there. There's also an image of Hermes, and the image is that he's standing in yellow sulfur fumes, and there are tears streaming down his face as he's turning the wheel of transformation. Here again, Jung is pointing to dealing with the shadow side, because if you're able to deal with the shadow side, you can then perform your own level of alchemy. It's about the transformation, because what you're trying to do is to find a way to balance your mind and your body and your spirit, bringing them all together. If we turn to Eastern religions, for example, some of them have yoga at the heart of their practice, and yoga is good because it is a way to integrate the different aspects of your life and who you are and what you represent. So you may have noticed over the last 10 years, for example, there's been a rise and a continued growth in the practice of yoga in its different forms in the Western world. Now, you might practice yoga, or it could be Tai Chi, or it could be Qigong, or any other form of exercise that enables you to bring the different selves together. Because by doing so, you're going to bring back a sense of harmony and balance, which then takes away the stress and the pressure that you self-impose. If we turn to Egyptian mythology, there's the goddess Isis, and she equally was a messenger. And the image or the statues that are representative of Isis, she's either standing by herself, which is a signature for you as a Virgoan as being very self-sufficient, or she's standing holding her baby Horus. Now, when she's standing by herself, it's an indication that you are incomplete. When she's standing holding her baby, Horus, it's a case of indicating how you as a Virgoan needs to birth something. Now that literally could be a baby, or it could be an idea, a project, a business, a painting, a piece of music, sculpture, art, whatever it is, but something needs to come from you. And by birthing something, it gives you a sense of completeness. And that's what you're trying to do. As a Virgoan, you're trying to complete yourself, but you need to move away the cold, hard facts, data, this very scientific, this very left-brained approach to your life. You need to rebut that, and that, because that shows up in your very clinical approach, a very professional approach, it could be in your world of work, but you actually take this approach wherever you show up in the world. And by focusing very much on the left brain, you are shutting out the remedy, the solution to opening you up. And the way that you can find this and tap into this is by looking at your opposite sign. The polarity is Pisces. Pisces here gives you the invitation to explore the intuitive, the imaginative parts of your mind, your body, your spirit, that can then lead you into a completely new dimension, which could be a new career, and the career could be anything that brings in the imaginative, the intuitive aspects of who you are. So it could be astrology, it could be filmmaking, it could be photography, it could be writing. It's about whatever it enables you to lessen the pressure so that you can either be flexible, because you are flexible, you're a mutable sign. So there should be this ability to go between the left-brained aspect and the right-brained aspect. But at the same time, it's about really liberating who you are. Another dimension to the Hermes and mercurial aspect to who you are is that you could be faced with trickery, or you could be in a position where you're tricking people. So if we go back to Isis, now her suffering started when she was lied to by her brother-in-law Seth, and he tricked and murdered her husband. Now she couldn't prove it at the time, but early on into her pregnancy, she started to withdraw, and she then went on a journey in disguise as a lowly governess. And here she was so much in revering the word and the power of words that she actually didn't speak until she felt she had something important to say. Now, what this is showing you or indicating to you is that on some level, your encounters may not be what they appear to be. So it means you stepping back and going underneath, going under the surface, and then assimilating the facts. And then the other side is about how you're able to tap into your wisdom, the innate wisdom that lies within. So facts are one thing, and that's very left brain, and wisdom and intuition is very right brain. And so it's about how you find a way to balance all of that. Now, if you're able to transform the dark side, to transform the poison, to really start performing your alchemy, what this can then do is lead you towards dancing with your inner divine child. So that leads me to the question of the day. What is it that you're going to do that enables your divine inner child to come out and play? As always, put your answers or comments in the comment box below. You know I always love to connect with you. Feel free to share this episode with anyone in your network. You can also like and subscribe to my channel, and you can upload this episode to your personal playlist. And so, until the next episode, where I will be sharing the Sun in Libra, have a great time playing out with your inner child.